if I could put my hands through this camera right now and shake you by the shoulders, it would be on this point. Money is not limited. Say it with me. Money is not limited. Look in the mirror every day and say, money is not limited. Hey, Courtney Sanders here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, I'm a full-time life and business coach as well as wife and mom. I truly wear all the hats and do all the things, but I'm super passionate about helping you turn your success story into a 6 or even 7-figure brand. And to do that, it's very important that you master your money mindset, which is what we are talking about today, particularly the 5 limiting beliefs, the 5 limiting money mindset beliefs, mind you, that could be holding you and your business back. And I think this is so important to talk about because recently I celebrated my 6-year full-time business anniversary. This year has been amazing, the year that I crossed 7 figures, and I've just been really sitting with myself and evaluating what has really gotten me here. On top of that, I recently just came back from Turks and Caicos from a business retreat where I was able to connect with some business friends and their clients and share my insights as a guest speaker. And a lot of the women there were asking me what were the steps that I took or what made the biggest difference in terms of me transitioning from 6-figure and multi-6-figure in my business to finally crossing that elusive 7-figure mark. And while there were some marketing things that I did certainly, and there was some team things, team building and systems and all the things you might expect in order to get to the next level, as I really thought about it, I was like, you know what? There were money mindset shifts that I had to make and that I have always made in my business and continue to make that have really allowed me to get to this level. And so I think that this is just so important to talk about because I see so many online coaches, personal branding experts, or just personal brands in general, motivational speakers, just anybody who wants to do empowerment work. Oftentimes they think that it's a lack of information around the tactics and strategies that they need in order to grow their business, but oftentimes it is their money mindset that is holding them back. So if you want to see if you have any of these 5 limiting beliefs and how you can eliminate them, stay right here because we're going to get into it right now. All right, the first limiting money belief that is probably keeping you and your business stuck is this idea of quote unquote, I don't care about the money. And I see that this runs rampant in the empowerment space, in the coaching space, in the motivational speaking space, because this is an industry all about helping people, which is super fantastic. But I think somewhere along the way, people kind of have this false piety around, I'm not one of those people that cares about the money. I only care about the work. It's either like the artistry of my craft and helping people do what they do, or I only care about the impact, but I could care less about the money. And while that sounds good, one, it's actually not true, because if you woke up this morning and went to a job that you do not like, then that means that you care about the money because you wouldn't have done it if you were not getting paid for it. So on a deep level, we all understand that we need money to survive and that we need money to live. And we do things for the money. So I think we can just drop this false pretense of like, oh, I don't care about the money and that makes me, less of a good person, or it makes me less spiritual if I'm somehow focused on the financial aspect in addition to the other aspects of my work and of my life. So no, money by no means is the most important thing, but it's certainly not nothing either, right? So we need to just kind of, drop this mindset, this idea that I don't care about the money. You do care about the money if you work for wages, right? Maybe you can say that if you were born to a trust fund, you're an heir of a 3rd generation like tycoon or something like that, and you just, do work just for fun because you're interested in it, but you don't even look at your paychecks because it doesn't matter. You've lived off a trust fund. If you say you don't care about the money, okay, I'll believe you because you're not working for wages. But everybody else who is doing something to earn money for a living in order to pay their lifestyle, you absolutely care about the money. And there's nothing wrong with that. You just need to make sure that you are caring about the money in the right way and that you caring about the money does not overtake you caring about the people or caring about the work. All right, the second money mindset that I really dug into, I'd say over the last 2 years, and that has made a big difference in my life and in my business, is shedding this false belief that cheaper is always better. I see people it doesn't matter what it is, they're complaining about the price of it, and they think if it's not the cheapest option, then it's not the option that they want to go with. This is not the case for me anymore. Honestly, this hasn't been the case for me in a really long time. Things that I value and things where I really want a return on my investment, I will won't go out of my way to avoid the cheapest option because I truly want the best, because I'm looking for a return on my investment. And so whether that is a computer that I'm looking for or clothing that I need for a speaking engagement, it's very important that I show up, and look powerfully and can speak well, because, the video is going to be recorded and it's something that I'm going to be able to use in my speaking reel going forward. You're right, I am not looking for the cheapest dress, right? I'm looking for the dress that is gonna fit me the best, that is gonna make me feel the most confident. When I'm looking for a car seat for my child, I am not looking for the cheapest car seat, right? I'm looking for the best car seat that's gonna keep my child protected in the unfortunate and unlikely, hopefully, event of an accident. So just finding this mindset that cheaper is always better, I've really just eliminated that to truly focus on the value of what I'm looking for. And I find that this is really key in business because we often project and reflect what our own money mindset is. And so if you have a money mindset that cheaper is always better, one, you're gonna be looking for the cheapest option in your business, which is gonna restrict your ability to grow, because if you're looking for the cheapest support, the cheapest staff person, the cheapest virtual assistant, the cheapest coach or mentor or whatever, you're gonna be limited in the value that you're gonna get from them, and it's gonna be very difficult for you to grow. So that's really a mindset that you want to eliminate, and that is something that I have shed a long time ago, and it has truly made all the difference. All right, the third mindset that I've eliminated, and it's kind of related to the second mindset, but again, I see it all the time, is that X dollar amount is too expensive. And I can admit there was a time where I used to say this, but I've changed my language where honestly, I don't say anything is too expensive because I know that everything is not targeted towards me. So I might say, I don't see the value in that, or that particular product at that price point is not worth it to me, but I have eliminated the language of XYZ is just, definitively too expensive because I can't afford it, or it's too expensive because I don't have the money for it. This honestly kind of drives me crazy where people do this. In fact, the other day I was, on Instagram scrolling, and I saw an ad for a designer brand that was showing their new dresses that they had in season. And I was like, oh my goodness, these are so cute. And I was actually looking for dresses to go to my Turks and Caicos trip that I just got back from for, this business event. So I was like, oh wow, I love these patterns, these tropical colors. These might be perfect for my event. And I was looking at the dresses, and the price points were anywhere from maybe like high 200s to low 400s, which to me is a decent price for a designer dress. That's about what I would be prepared to spend if I'm looking for designer clothing. But I was just stunned by all the comments below that was like, oh my goodness, this is too expensive. I can't believe you're charging $300 for a dress. Who can afford this? Like all these comments bashing this dress. And I'm like, who is to say that that dress is too expensive? Why are we acting like our personal pocketbooks and our personal budgets are the definitive standard for whether something is too expensive in the world? I might think a Learjet is too expensive at $1 million because it's out of my price range, but is it really too expensive to whom? I'm not the target market for, companies that are selling Learjets, right? If I am a super high up corporate executive of $1 billion firm and I have 3 different meetings on 3 different sides of the country and I need to get there, refreshed and, in the fastest time possible, and those deals are worth billions of dollars, who's to say that $1 million jet is too expensive? It might be perfectly reasonable for the return on investment that I'm looking for. So I've completely eliminated that language. I no longer say something is too expensive. I just say it's not in my price point, or I don't find that it's worth it to me, or it's not something that I'm looking to budget for at this time. But what is too expensive? It might not be too expensive to the person for whom that is actually a good deal. I don't let my personal finances be the standard for whether something is expensive or not expensive. All right, I have more where that came from, but first I want to hear from you. Why do you want to change your money beliefs? Obviously, if you're watching this video, you do, so share in the comments your reasons for changing your money beliefs. All right, the fourth money mindset that I have eliminated that has really just taken the lid off of my business is this concept that money is limited. If I could put my hands through this camera right now and shake you by the shoulders, it would be on this point. Money is not limited. Say it with me. Money is not limited. Look in the mirror every day and say, money is not limited. Here's a crazy thing. I almost put this as my point, but I was like, I don't even have time to go here. What I really wanted to say is money is not even real, if you can believe that. Honestly, it's not. If you look at the true definition of money, they'll say that it is a store of value. Money is a representation of something that is real. It is something that we denote something. It's an intangible that we use to denote something that is real, but in and of itself, it's not really real, right? It's a store of value. So what does that mean? What is real? Value is real. The value you bring to the marketplace is real. The ideas that you come up with is real. Your innovation is real. And so I'm telling you, if you can eliminate this idea that money is scarce and money is limited, and you focus on what money actually is, which is a representation of value, this has just exploded the lid off of my business, because I no longer focus on the money per se, I focus on my own value. And so at any time, if I'm in a cash crunch or, sales are slow or whatever, I'm in a place where I'm like, ooh, the money is not there, I don't focus on the money. I focus, how can I be of more value? How can I create more value in the marketplace? How can I create more value to my audience and to my customers? And I understand that the money will come because it has to. Money is a representation of value. It's a store of value. And so the more value that I give in exchange for money, the more money I will have. And so money is not even really a thing. It's the thing in between the thing, right? To get to the real thing that we're trying to get to, which is value. And so if you're finding that you feel like money is limited, or you're not liking your financial situation or the amount of money that you have, I would challenge you to simply be more valuable in the marketplace, and the money will come. All right, the fifth money mindset that I've long since eliminated, but I put this on here because this is something that a lot of people struggle with, especially with a lot of the narratives that we see in the media and on the news, etc., is this idea that all wealthy people are evil and all wealthy people are greedy. And it's so important that you really reconcile that mindset, because if you believe that wealthy people are evil and greedy, you are never going to allow yourself to become one. You have to understand that some wealthy people are evil and some wealthy people are greedy. But some middle-class people are evil and some middle-class people are greedy. And some poor people are evil and some poor people are greedy. Like, the amount of money doesn't necessarily have anything to do with your moral compass or your greed level. In fact, there are a lot of wealthy people who are very low key, they're very low profile, they don't flaunt what they have, they give extremely generously, they are very, very passionate about different causes. Others are very, very innovative, and they just really focus on excellence and just being the best, and they just really want to help their fellow man by coming up with, great ideas and great products. Like, I know many of the wealthy people in my circle, they're extremely talented, they're extremely hardworking, and they're extremely inspiring. They're always coming up with really great ideas. They're always coming up with different ways that they can support their community and that they can give back. And that personally inspires me. Me personally, I love to hang around successful people who are achieving their goals in any arena. It doesn't have to necessarily be finances. I love hanging around successful stay-at-home moms who have totally mastered their home flow and working with their kids, and their kids are well-mannered and they're super educated. I love hanging out with super successful married people who might be older, people in their 70s who have amazing wisdom to share about, how they have maintained their marriage and kept the love alive all these years, right? I love hanging out with anyone who is successful, and I find that many wealthy people are successful because they've done smart things and they've made great moves. So, of course, are there wealthy people who are terrible people? Absolutely, but I met a lot of terrible people who don't make that much money as well. And so we really have to eliminate this idea that just because you do or don't have money, it means something about you. No, if you're a human and your character is what it is, that is what ultimately means something about you. And so we gotta shed this idea that all wealthy people are evil and all wealthy people are greedy. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this is gonna break some limiting money mindset beliefs for you. If you want even more where this came from, I actually have a free download that you can check out called My Financial Freedom Formula. This is a workshop and a live stream that I did not too long ago that shares many more beliefs that I had to break through, and specifically different steps that you can take in order to create financial freedom in your life. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you want even more where that came from, don't forget to follow my podcast, The Courtney Sanders Show, on both iTunes and Spotify. And if you can't wait for my next podcast or my next YouTube video, make sure you are following me on Instagram, where I post nearly daily the behind the scenes of my life, as well as more great tips like this. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.